Hello, chat. It's me, your favorite egg. I hope y'all have been doing well. I've been doing well. But let me say hi to y'all. Hello. It's me. So, I had updated Benny and then it broke, so I had to revert Benny back to what he was before. But don't worry, he will return to his glory. Probably when I have a day off. And I can fix him properly. But I hope you're all doing wonderful. I hope you're all doing well. Also, hello, Vec. I see you. Points, I see you. Yeah, I know I haven't been yapping a lot lately. Slash, been around a lot lately. I've been really tired. My doctor doubled my meds, my blood pressure meds, from 10 milligrams to 20 milligrams, and it's making me a lot more eepier than usual. But I'm sure once my body, like, fully adjusts to it, I'll be fine. But I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sure everyone is. Soon, our funny, silly month's gonna be over. Which means, this model, this funny, goofy model, this Total Drama Island model will no longer be the model, like the active model I use. I might bring it back here or there. I do enjoy it. I think it's really fun. I'm like debating it. But yeah. Anyway. Hello, everyone. We're going to play a demo today. I have a bunch of demos. I wanted to play this demo is like a little silly, so I think it counts for April. It is a game about being a butcher. You're also a zombie. So I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be silly. We can see how well I do. Those of you who are not in my server, let me give you some quick updates because I made a quick announcement. We should be getting the house next month for my move. I will probably be moving next month. I'm gonna let the other folks move in first before I move because I still need to give Zimmy her stuff. If y'all are interested, I might keep up silly days. And on top of that, community nights can be changing slightly. I'm going to be putting up polls for this Saturday, but basically I'm going to be doing a game night and a hangout night interchangeably. So, for example, today, this week is probably going to be a hangout night. Next week will be a game night. The point of it is, I used to have a thing called Chill Sunday that I would use to get stuff done. But because I work on Sundays, I can't do that. So, this is my alternative. But yeah. I hope y'all are excited. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. Alright, so let me load up the game. And it's a demo. I don't know how much of the demo we'll be able to play. I know some games have like really long demos and some don't, so we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what the game allows me to do. But once it gets the game loaded up, we will play it. I think it'll be fun. It is... Game is making funny noises. I'm kind of glad y'all can't hear it right now. Wait a second, I need to... Oh, everything's on ultra, that's why it's making noises. Oof, let me fix that. Let me fix that real quick. Because it is having a moment. I sure love when demos... Oh, my Discord also froze. What did it do to my Discord? Hello? Let me look at my... Okay, my Discord's not frozen anymore. I don't know why I did that to my... No, it's still freezing a little. What is it doing? Oh, my model stopped moving. I have the game on, like, medium. Why is it making everything else crash out? Hello? Oh, boy. Okay, hold on. I gotta... Okay. I closed the game. Discord is reloading itself. Okay. Discord reloaded itself. I don't know what happened to the reactive. Let me refresh cache. Okay. Do we get it to work? For now, it looks like it's working for now. Okay. Let me try opening it again. Let's hope it doesn't fucking break everything again. I don't know why it was doing that. Let me reopen it. Okay, that's the splash screen. It's being okay for now. Shader's compiling. Okay, settings. Okay, it's chill. It's chill right now. We're chilling. We're chilling. We're chilling. Okay, let me switch over to the game. I think I got it to where I want it to be for the game. There we go. Okay. So I think I fixed the game. I think we're good. Let me pull it up for y'all. Go. Game capture. Okay, now the game should work. Now we should be fine. There you go. I think I got it to calm it down. I have everything on medium. Here we are. It's my shop. I picked it up now. What do I do with it? You can place new tables on unreplaceable objects by choosing my inventory. I'll put my slicing table here. Pork carcass. Crazy. There. Okay, I'm guessing this goes here. Right? Drag and drop meat to empty pack, then press the bag of meat against the top of the sealer. Transfer the bag of meat to the box, repeat. Oh, okay. Okay, I figured it out. So let's go take this pig carcass over here. Drag and drop carcasses into the left slot. Move mouse down to fast chop the carcass. Okay. Cut. 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 Okay, we have 7 cuts of pork. Well, the settings are kind of still a little funky. Let's get move them to low. Place meat impact here. Package meat. Okay. Oh. There we go. Do. Me packaging some meat. And now we have packaged pork that I can sell. Time to sell meat. Buy chicken, buy pig carcass, buy more packs, buy freezer for butcher meat. Okay, so I have to buy stuff, it looks like. But I don't think I have money for that right now. We're gonna sell my food instead. And then there, now we're open. You're open now. I don't know where to put the pork for sale. Where do I stick you? Do I stick you here? Where do I put you to sell you? Where do I put you to sell? Oh, there's my bed. Why is my bed all the way down here? Oh, I guess this is where I hang the fucking food, the meat. Kind of small area to hang in. So I need to buy some stuff for my butchery. I'm guessing I go here. Hello. Want something special, kid? Yeah, sure, show me. This where okay, this where I can get a freezer. Purchase. Okay, freezer acquired. Where do I put the freezer? Is this how to get the food? Do I put it here? There. Okay, yeah, so that's where I put it. And then they come get it. And then... Hello, farmer man. Yeah, I wanna buy your chicken in your pork. Thank you. I will put this to good use. I need to buy more packs. I need to buy 12 packs. Thank you. Store to meet your cartridges and freeze of cell. Hang the cartridges on the hook to store it. Are y'all just looking at me? Damn. Customers ever clean our shoes before coming in. You should use them off to clean the butchery. Of course, only if you don't want customers to run away because of the dirt. Why are y'all getting my fucking... God, do you see this shit? Look at this. Why are they dirtying my goddamn place up? Brother. Okay. Okay, you're buying this. Okay. Give me your money. Oh god, I gotta give you change? Brother. There. Proceed to check out me and take the money. Okay. There you go. Who's calling me? I'm trying to run a store here. Oh my god, what do you want? Mike the Pimp? When did I get a pimp? Who is it? It's only been a month. Have you already forgotten your benefactor? I'll remind you. Handsome, businessman, philanthropist, born in my ass. Shut your mouth and listen. $3,000 by this Friday. When am I gonna get that much? Where am I gonna get that much money? Sell your meat. Sell not your meat. Sell if you have to. I don't give a shit. Even if it costs you an arm and a leg, man. Is this why I have to start killing people? Because this man's like, oh, you need to start like I need to make money, so I gotta start selling human body parts, I guess. Here. At least need to clean up in here. Okay, so let me go downstairs. Let me start cutting the meat. Time to cook some chicken. Package some chicken. Have any of y'all ever bought meat from a butcher? Is it worth it? Again, I'm sorry, but right now I need a fucking package just for people. There we go. There we go. Acquired our stuff to cook with. Not to cook with, but to stock. There. Okay. Okay, she's coming in to get some goodies. Can I still order from you? Okay, I can. Can we order more of each of these from you? Because I am definitely gonna have to, like, make so much shit, bro. Better guy. There you are. You. $12. The car. Thank you. Let me go serve these people. Fucking... They are dirtying up my store. Can I get a Roomba and fix this problem? How well do you think a Roomba would work in a butchery? There. Yep. Oh! I'm restarting level. That wasn't supposed to happen. That part was not supposed to happen. That was not part of the game. I'm gonna make this windowed. I want it windowed. Hello, Egbert. Time to be work noise. You missed me accidentally beating someone with a fucking... with a mop. I didn't mean to hit them. I need to specify that. That was not on purpose. They were in my way. I saw that actually. Right when you show up is when you see that. That is insane. I'm turning up my resolution scale a little bit so it looks a little better. As I was typing. That is unfortunate for me. Probably very funny for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is a Packinator. Packinator here. We're gonna put the other machine here. That way they're right by each other, which will be easier for me. I'm gonna put the meat. Now we're gonna put the meat here. We're gonna start cutting it. Come over here. There we go. I hope work goes well for you, Ayaka. Price on the meat. I need to go pick up goodies. So I'm gonna buy 24 from him because I want to make like a lot of money really fast. You hear something around? It doesn't show me anything. Okay, just show me your stuff. Okay. I want the freezer. And I want 24 of your pack. Why don't you sell these in, like, packs themselves? Like, that seems like the ideal thing to do. Why are you entering... What the hell? What are you doing in here? Get out. My store's not even open yet. I don't know why you walked in here. Sure, show me your meat. We'll buy 2 of these. And 2 of these. Thank you. I'm gonna go cook. I just cut off the fucking arms and legs like this. There we go. Now we need to do this part. Quite raise sensitivity on my mouse. There we go. Easy. I'm a genius, chat. Okay, now you're gonna package all this meat. Look at all these look at all these pieces of chicken. Get in there. There you go. Why the fuck was that so hard? My sword's not even open yet. It's fine. I'm just preparing for the day ahead. They'll understand. Look at all that meat. There you go. Everyone else has probably confused. They're probably like, this butcher hasn't. It's already 3 p.m. and they aren't open. What the fuck? Meanwhile, it's just me preparing the food. There you go. I have so much fucking packed pork. Wait, hold on, there's one more left. Yeah. Good morning, Big Bird Fun Cookie Monster. How are you? So see, chat, my plan here is I'm just gonna put everything on the shelves like so. That way I have a full shelf. for them to take food from. There we go. Now we wait. Now we wait for customers. I'm doing good, thanks to you. I'm doing pretty good. I got home from work earlier. I think it's my first time seeing this one. Oh, this is my first time playing it. It's a demo, and I thought it was interesting. Why is no customers came by? I just put all this effort into making sure y'all had extra meat. What? Where are y'all? Hello? Okay, I see one person coming in. Are you gonna come in? It says open. Why is no one coming in? Insane. Go into the store. It is literally open. The sign says open. Guess I'm just gonna clean until they show up. What do you mean my zombie hunger is increased? Brother. Why is no one coming in here? I have meat. I got chicken. I got chicken, I got pork. I cooked hard, I worked hard on it. Why are none of y'all coming in here? Do you see this shit, chat? Let me flip it around again. Maybe they're just dumb. Come on. I have meat. Why are none of you coming in here to get my meat? Morning, Gage. You can join me in the VC if you want. Try beating them up. I will get jumped if I do that by the cops. I have to be sneaky about it. Why are none of you coming in here for meat, bro? Look at them all. Like, why aren't none of them? Why aren't none of them? They just fully despawn. This is insane. Is it because, like, I made so much meat ahead of time? Is the game mad at me? I don't understand. My freezer has goodies. Look at my prices. God, why is no one... Is that... Hold on, is that a fucking stalker character? Brother. Don't forget to close your butcher. Who knows what's roaming the streets at night? I'm roaming the streets at night. It's me. I'm the roamer. No one even fucking bought my food. I'm gonna save my game. You can't save if you have a monster behind the door. Rudder. Some customers will only come after dark. Their order promise profit, but their wrath promises punishment. Hi. Indistinct mumbling. Is that a fucking Labubu? We skull. You want a skull, so I have to go kill someone to get you food. Yes, I guess. Come back tomorrow, I'll get that. I'll get that for you, okay? Is he mumbling? Are they leaving? There is a great trap for single strangers. Take advantage of this. How? How do I hunt someone? Are they just gonna walk into my fucking store because they're stupid? Here, I'll open it. Ta-da! We're open! You're not the one I want. How do I hunt someone? What if I make my prices really cheap? That lure them? Let me take some of my let me take some of my product and then put it back, so hopefully people realize, oh, there's food, and they'll come in here. They're stupid. Please. Please enter my store. Please, I'm begging you, be stupid. Chat, why are they not entering my fucking store? I have the meats. Am I crazy? No, I'm no scientist, but I believe that Batman is a furry. Where is your... Necromancer, it's been a minute since I've seen you. I need to know your evidence. Maybe a pathfinding issue, like you're having trouble getting to the shop? Well, how am I supposed to fix that? It's just here. I need to, like, punch one of them into my store. Like, you will buy my shit and you will like it. Well, I'm just gonna go grab a whole carcass. You. Yeah, give me a chicken carcass. We're gonna go put that up. We're gonna use this to lure people. Surely they'll crave the chicken. I can't hook the fucking brother. Yes, I know how to slice a chicken. Thank you, video game. Evans is, he dresses as a bat. Are you saying a bat's his persona? Oh, I could have trapped you in here. Oh, I could have fucked up a cop. Oh, we could have had real pig on the menu. Well, see, I have a counter argument to that. Usually when furries pick a persona, they're very particular. They don't just pick like a random ass bat or something. They're like, oh, it's a specific species of bat and stuff. He's just like a random bat. So what it could be that he's a poser. I do not know what's wrong with these people and why they won't come into my store, but once they do... That he chose escape bats underneath his manor. I don't fucking know the species. We need to do research. Okay. Like, I have meat. Why aren't y'all coming in here for the meat? Like, do I need to make my prices lower? Like, what are we working with here? Clean down here. And make it more cleanly. I'm gonna work down here. I need to not be as bloody. Not be as unhygienic. Okay, I have standards. For my... I have... Rudder. Okay. I need to eat something brainy. Well, like, no one's We're restarting this level. We're restarting this level since it's being so finicky. We'll play it the way it wants me to play. Big brown bats, aka Abscessius fuchsius. Is that a real bat species? Yes. Ah, okay. Now we know what his persona is. Although that is interesting because his outfit is black, not brown. But they're supposed to be big brown bats. What happened there? His craftsman's been many cultures, colors and cultures. You know what? That's fair. He does have like a lot of suits. That kind of leans more towards him being a furry too, if you think about it, because only furries would be the ones who could afford like a fuck ton of suits for like no good reason. There's a Jurassic Period one at one point? Wait, what the fuck? I think out of all of them, my favorite design is I think it's like the Killing Joke or some shit. The one where he goes insane. No, panthers aren't real, but a genetical defect that makes a different cat entirely black. Is that what you're saying his persona is? It's a bat with a genetic defect? Okay. Let's go buy some stuff. Show me your stuff. 12. This is a literal colorful one. Huh. The more you know. I learn new things every day. We're gonna buy a freezer, we're gonna buy a pack. And I'm gonna put the freezer like right here. I'm gonna put the meats in here. We're Arby's, we have the meats. There you go. I'm gonna buy a chicken and pig carcass. You. It's like pink, purple, green and blue, I think. Wait, how does he sneak around in that? They have a disco one? God, no, if you think about it, imagine you made a costume where the entire outside of it had, like, the fucking pieces that make a disco ball. So he just flashbangs all his enemies. I can see it working. I'm just saying, I'm on to something, okay? Disco Batsuit is straight up just anti-laser Batsuit. It would work! The thumb placement on the chicken body for me. Shh, just don't look at it. Don't look at it. Can't hurt you if you don't look at it. I feel like I'm playing the drug simulator game. But instead of me packing drugs, I'm packing meat. I better take my fucking meat after this. Hold on, take product. Yeah. And then put all the... There we go. Now, flip the sign. Y'all better come into my fucking store. He has had a pink suit too way back in the day when color comics was popular and red wasn't a thing yet. I kind of like... I like both colored, but also not colored comics. I think they're both neat. Hey, someone came into my store! Come here, you fucker. Yay! Okay, let me just take this body. Put you over here. We're gonna put you here. Holy move curse for Donline sliced chicken. This is not chicken. This is the opposite of chicken. Slice and copy. I can't put you there yet. Yeah, where do I put? You know what? We're gonna hang you in here. No one will ever know. You're just gonna stay right there. And then we're gonna go get a saw. And no one will ever know. You only had $9? That's crazy. I'm $9 richer. Anyway. Act like nothing happened. I didn't just fucking attack someone in my own store. I have no proof. Hello, ma'am. Lovely day to buy some meat. She doesn't know, chat. I should probably go buy a saw machine so I can go cut up that body. I'm guessing this is what I need. I don't have enough cash? Well, at least I'm getting customers now, so I can make money off them. Hi, I see you're buying 2 meats. How lovely. Let me give you your money. Fucker's dirtying up my goddamn... Oh. How do I... Oh. There. Fix it. Both comic types are girls and dating. In fact, in many suits it can be numbered. Like, what the hell? How many does he have? Wait, no, you just said it can't be numbered. Someone out there's gonna figure it out. Who's calling? Who's bothering me when I'm trying to run my store? You're telling me he's a really rich furry. Who is it? Why is there a pimp bothering me? Maybe if I'm nicer to him. Come on. And I, out of the goodness of my heart, paid for the maintenance of the premises. As you may have noticed, it was practically sparkling when you arrived. It's a wonderful thing. How much do you want? I didn't ask you to do that. But like I said, the goodness of my heart, man. So you should repay me for my kindness, don't you? God, he wants me to sell. How am I gonna get 3,000 in fucking 5 days? There. Before I finish, I need to go buy that. Now I have enough for the saw machine. So I'm guessing this is what I need to cut up that body that I just collected. Fuck, I got stuck. Like, I was just staring at me, waiting for me to turn around, or waiting for me to take her money. Excuse me, ma'am. I gotta do some shit downstairs. You wouldn't get it. There. Damn, they bought out my whole stock. Okay, bye, lady. Clean the floor. It's always furries that are rich. I also think furries could fund a literal country if they wanted. Probably. We probably could. Okay. I've cleaned my store. Close the shutters. Hi. Free brain. And he had $10 on him. Let me take care of his body. Yeah, restarting the level fixed it. Now I have 2 bodies. Check this shit out, chat. Flip this sign. Of course someone's knocking on my basement door. Drop that. Oh. Can you wait? I'm gonna save my game. Never mind, I can't fucking save, I guess. Is it? Oh, you're not the boo-boo. What a weird face. Are you kidding me? How about $500 for one right hand? Let me see what I have. Okay, so so he wants a right hand. I'm gonna grab her because she was the first body I acquired. So how do I put her on the table? What do I do? How do I put her up here? Am I not supposed to eat their brains? Like, what am I supposed to do here? I gotta think. Because this is a saw table. This is a slicing table. I have 2 bodies. I theoretically should be able to cook with them. Come on, someone be stupid and come in here so I can take care of you. I think he said I ate their brains. Maybe that's what's wrong. Let me go talk to the fucking... Let me go see if I can tell him to wait till tomorrow. Yeah, sure. Nice. And use a cream. You have a weird face. Okay, so is it gonna teach me how to do this? Your sword's a great trap for single strangers. Take advantage of this. I have bodies. Maybe they go on a slicing table. We'll see. Look, like if I do this, it doesn't let me like. Maybe I need to drain them more. Is there? I don't understand. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? It wants me to hunt someone. You already did hunt someone. So I guess we'll just hunt someone again. Let's wait. Someone will be stupid enough to come in here. I have the open sign up, so... Let me go order. Let me go make some shit to sell. That way they actually come over. Okay, so here's the plan. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna put... Why do I put this here? Is it just gonna slice it faster? Oh, it's like an upgrade. I'm only doing this so that way I can, I can lure people with meat. Also, Gage, do you want to join me in call? You can if you want.
Good morning.
Jesus fuck, Gage, you scared me. Gage, I need you to lure people into my butcher shop.
What am I supposed to do?
Take your shirt off and stand outside. It'll work, I know it will.
Totally. I'll tie my shirt, the bottom of my shirt up into the top of my shirt.
Now I just gotta wait for someone to actually enter my store who's stupid. Come on, get in my store. It's already 6 a.m.
Come buy some 6 a.m. meat.
You can trust it, it's fresh.
You know you want it.
Don't worry about where it's from. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. Yeah, why are they taking so long to get into my store? Good morning, SCP Deadman. How are you? I'm doing wonderful. I'm currently trying to lure people into my store. For nothing nefarious at all, I promise. I promise. What do you mean I'm starving already? Fuck. Ah! Why are people coming to my store? I think I'm breaking the tutorial by, like, doing steps too fast. Okay. Place tables, yada yada yada. Okay. I'm gonna place this one here. This one here. We're making so much progress too.
Is there a difference between like eating their brains and just outright like killing them?
I don't know. I think the game I think the problem is I keep just eating them, and I think like it's making it where I can't really. I don't know. I gotta see. I'm just gonna try to follow the game instead of like moving ahead. Time to sell meat. Okay. Uh, 12 packs in a freezer. Put the freezer. There you go. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just currently trying to run a store. But I think I keep fucking up in the demo on accident. Gage, have you noticed where my thumb placement is when I hold the chicken? Why am I holding the chicken like this? Game?
Better grip.
Is this how you're gonna hold me, Gage?
Totally.
Please don't hold me like that. That scares the egg.
Hey, come here.
God, I'm scared.
Come here.
Okay, we placed packed meat into the freezer. I could probably... Can I sell the pig carcass? Pork carcass? Ta-da. Okay, before we do the next part, I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna save my game. Now, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try something. We're gonna try something. Trust. Trust. The instant we have someone come in, I'm jumping them. But I'm not gonna eat their brain. I'm just gonna grab them. I'm gonna see if that is the strat that I'm supposed to be doing. Lady, I'm so sorry. Self-profanator. Okay. Drag body. Oh wait, hold on. Money. Only at $7 on you? That's crazy. Okay, what the hell do I do with you? Look at you, get hooked. You can leave her there. So I can have food later. And then we're gonna leave this open. We're gonna take the pork because I do want to sell this. I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna slice it. Files. While I wait for people to buy my shit upstairs. Customers. I hear customers. Hello, buddy. Hey there. I'm gonna go cut up this chicken. Chimkin. Chimkin. Gage, would you still love me if I was a chicken?
Yes.
How much would you love me?
I love you so much.
Dad, would you love me if I was a chicken?
I mean, you're already an egg, so I mean, you're gonna be a chicken at some point, right?
I could... Well, you don't know what kind of egg I am. I could be an ostrich. Or an emu.
Still a bird. Still a bird.
Or a dinosaur.
Still a bird.
Fuck you. I will eat you.
You do that anyways. It's okay. You gotta take the chicken.
Me. Me. What? Why are you laughing at me?
It's
What?
just the
This is hard. I'm gonna go give them... I come to restock. Hello. All my customers. Why y'all make my store so fucking dirty? Jesus fuck. No, I need to clean. I think it's like the only slightly creepy part is that when I'm clean, it's like they turn and look at me, and that's like slightly unsettling. Look at them; they're just staring at me. It's like I'm trying to clean the floor. Leave me alone. I should not be starving. I should be fine. Y'all bought all my goddamn stock. Fine, I'm gonna go buy more. You. Fuck. Then give me... Thank you. I can cut these up. That's crazy. You wanted to leave, didn't you? Well, I'm hungry, so you're gonna feed me. Thank you. How much money did you have on you? $7. Only 7. That is crazy. I got his body. Now where can I... Do I just throw it over here? Can I just... I don't know, I'll figure out what to do with you later. Just put you in here with her. You'll have fun. Your thing says you're a prisoner anyway, so. Wait, if you're a prisoner, how the fuck were you walking around? I have so many questions. Now we gotta close my store. Why would you come in when I'm closing my store? No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. He's stuck up there. He's not gonna realize what's going on. It's fine, it's fine. It's him! He's back! Hi, squizzy face. What do you want? You want bones. Deal. And use a cream, you have a weird face. Look at your face, buddy! Okay, so there is a guy stuck upstairs. So, he's gonna be the one I hunt. I mean, he's already terrified. Get lost? That's crazy. I guess you're getting annihilated. What are you doing?
Crashing out.
What are you...
Guess you gotta punch him.
Guess we're gonna have to punch him. Well... Why don't let me take you down? I'm just gonna beat you. You're just getting beat today. There we go. Use dumpsters to hide from enemies. There isn't any enemies. Back to the basement. Hang the body on a hook. Okay. By the suction table. Place the suck. Oh, I understand now. Okay, I'm gonna drop his body right there. No one will ever know. Don't mind me just cleaning. I'm just gonna clean up all this dirt. Pulling nothing else. I'm just happy I'm finally making progress. After having to restart the tutorial like 4 times. I mean, that one isn't really their fault. I don't think they expect someone like me to just start doing shit out of order. I need to go by the suction table. We gotta suck them. I don't even know what this does.
Clearly it sucks.
Apparently it sucks. Chat, are you ready to see what this what the power of suck is? Where can I put this? Where can I put like... Let me close my shutters so no one gets in here. So they'll never know. So apparently I place corpses on the suction table and then I chop them up. That's how that works. So where's that guy's body? Okay, I'm gonna grab the body of the prisoner. Because I already ate his brains. Interact. Click to chop the body limbs before you start sucking. Place Tube in a body and press the red button to suck organs from the body. Repair the equipment when it breaks. Okay. So apparently I need to top the body. I need to insert the tube. Into his ass is insane. Alright. Start button. What do I do with the pieces of his body? Just puts him up here. Oh!
So I think with that, you might just want to stay over by the machine until it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna eat her brain. I'm hungry. And then I'm gonna take her and put her over here. And then we're gonna chop her body. Do-do. Do-do-do. 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 Please don't break. Please don't break. Please don't break. Fixed it. Chop up the limbs for human meat. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, there's the body parts. They're all in there. Human meat. Hell yeah. You know I'm selling this shit. They'll never know. I got a lot of it too. Package this and put it out there for selling. At least we now know how to do this. I'm about to make so much money. Like, look how much I got out of one body, and I got 2 more! I have, like, the limbs of one that I can cook up, and then I have another body that I can get organs out of. Bones.
Leave one right hand just in case.
There we go. We got lots of human meat that they don't know is human. It'll be really funny. Okay, so I'm gonna save. Save my game. Leave my... I'm up here. Place the new product that they aren't gonna question at all. Because it's labeled as... special meat. And so they have no reason to question it. I'll make lots of money off of them because they're not smart. Oh, someone already bought some. Let's go check. Go say hi to them. I want to go see who's acquired some delicious. Hehe. They'll never know. There you go. Thank you. What's also interesting is the human meat sells for a lot. So the game encourages me to murder. I hear someone upstairs. I'll be there in a second. Like how the packed human and the packed chicken look like the exact same icon-wise.
Honestly, I thought that would go down the route of it looking like pork.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Isn't humans supposed to taste like pork or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I swear I've heard that before. Did you know that, Chad? Fun fact. That's why they call human meat long pig.
so excited you punched the table.
Yeah, 'cause I'm making money. I need to clean, so there's fucking dirt everywhere. I cleaned up like a decent amount. Here's your chicken, here's your pork. I need to get a Roomba for my butcher shop. Hi, lady. Unfortunately for you, I'm hungry. Why doesn't it let me take you down? Is it because you're looking at me? Okay, fine. I guess I won't eat you. Just give me a second. Let me go eat the other brain I have down here. There we go. Now I'm normal now. Why is there suddenly a bunch of cops outside my place?
Probably because you did that right when your stuff was open.
It's okay, they didn't see anything. I'm just gonna, she didn't even, bruh. No, I'll put... It's fine, I'll let them freak out outside. They'll calm down eventually. At least for now, I can clean my store.
Yep.
And I'm surprised they heard that all the way up here. Okay. Store's clean. Now let me reopen. Look, they're all just standing there, bro.
Yeah, being weirdos. I would just close right now.
Bye, everyone. I'll see y'all later, I guess. I think... I do not know what... This is kind of funny to watch. All the cops are just slowly coming out. And leaving. Okay, good. We have one person who just came in. He doesn't know what's about to happen to her. Yay! Free food. Hook you up here. Pick you up. Hook you up properly. There we go. So bloody back here. I should probably clean up. Well. Oh, since everyone's still running, I'm just gonna close early. I'm sure they'll calm down.
They were just really excited for opening day, you know?
Yeah, what that was.
No, totally.
Who's fishing? Ike is fishing. Ike, what are you fishing up for us today? I should probably go get some more packaging. No, I'm not.
Go eat.
Nice. I gotta give that whoever's at my basement door, I have to give him his bones. Give me your bones, magic man. Should have got more packaging, because that's only like 4 pieces. Eh, it's not that big of a deal. Nope, they're still standing up there. We're gonna save our game. Oh, the fishing is beginning. You got 0. How does that make you feel? No one's at my door yet. Oh yeah, Squizzy Face gonna come for his meat. I didn't open the outside yet. People are still running around. Damn, I really wanted to go get more packaging too. Well then. I guess we're just gonna wait for the timer to get to the point where I can go give what's his face his food. Which is gonna be in what? 4 hours it says on screen? Like 4 minutes, I'm guessing. I can't really go outside since everyone's out there freaking the fuck out. I just gotta wait patiently. You're catching a lot of fish, Ike. Why are you catching so many fish? I thought you were gonna save your money for the wheel. What happened? Well, I got 2 bodies here. I have the organs over here. I have a container over here. least gonna grab his bones. There's some human meat I could package. And human skin? A lot of goodies. Can I package the human skin? No, I can't. The eyeballs, the heart? No. I can package the human meat. But guess what I'm gonna do? Exactly that. Here he is. Oh no, that's the fucking Labubu. Two right hand. Fuck, that means I'm gonna have. Okay, I have one right hand I can give you. I'll give you another one tomorrow. Then once the other guy's back, I'll give him his stuff. You just want right hands. I'll cut up this left one.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Went and got me applesauce, and while I was going to get applesauce, I caught Loomis tearing up one of my mom's shoes.
Bruh.
I took it away from her.
Did she get upset?
Who?
Loomis.
Yeah. I don't think she likes being outside. Problem is that like it's not really a problem. It's like it's nice outside. It's not super humid. It's not super hot. But she doesn't want to be outside. She wants to be in the house to get a hold of things.
Gotta start buying her toys.
Yeah, we have toys. She doesn't play with them. She wants household objects.
I just made a lot of money.
Because tearing up household objects gets her attention.
Since I know that one guy needs right hands. This body doesn't have a brain because I ate it. I know that. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna chop it.
Well, she's so kicked up.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
What's your workout routine?
Who's knocking? Oh. Oh, you're pretty. For two left hands? Deal. Because you're pretty. She called me her little flower. Oh, fuck, I'm gay. What? Why are you laughing at me?
I don't know, it's just cute.
It's cute that that's my response to a pretty lady talking to me in a video game?
It's just, she called me Little Flower. I'm gay, because she's pretty.
Because I am gay.
I
We've
know.
established this. How much I love women.
Egg, I know.
Chad, I love women. Did you know that? Did you know that, Chad? I love women.
Whammon.
Women.
Whammon.
I'm gonna drop this here. Drop this here. No way, me too. Relatable. Okay, grab this. That's not in her ass, that's in her crotch. You immediately broke? That's insane. Got some meat. So we have the two left hands. Open. Everyone is still crashing out here. How am I supposed to get my shit?
No more service to humans, only the pretty alligator skull lady.
But the thing is, I need to catch those people so I can eat them.
You can just drag them off the streets.
Come on. Let me quit and reload the game. Maybe they'll chill the fuck out then. If they don't chill out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Are y'all normal now? Everyone chill. Okay. That's all I give a fuck about. I'm buying like 50 fucking packs off you, bro. Thanks. I'm gonna close my store so I can go pack all this meat. Now that everyone's chilled out. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me grab this body. Let me eat its brain, because I'm hungry. I was gonna say, man, imagine if this game had, imagine if this game had co-op. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I want co-op, because I feel like whoever I play with, or me, is gonna be the one who, like, kills someone on accident in front of a bunch of people. Like, hey, I may have fucked up. What do you mean you fucked up? Why is everyone running? What the fuck did you do? Butchered friend as a joke. For some reason, this game makes me want to play Schedule 1. It's also like kind of relaxing just doing this.
It might seem like really tedious work, but imagine doing that repetitively over and over to actually build up muscle in your forearms over time.
Yeah, but then you have to like switch arms.
You're using both.
You know, I'm only using one arm to do the pull it down.
I'm just talking about the entire, like, process of that.
You never realize how much meat a body makes until you have to package it for selling. Then and only then do you realize it. I forgot my real number is supposed to be 50, 60 less. It's fine. We'll just accept this current number. Fuck it, we ball. There we go. Okay, I finally package all the meat. I want to name my butcher place. Want to know what I would name it?
Just got out of the fence again.
Do you want to know what I would name my butcher place? Arby's. Because we have the meats.
Zarbies for copyright reasons.
Sorry, buddy, I need another body for the back room. Come on. You'll do just fine. Now we're open. No one will ever know. I'm sitting over here so I can make money. The only thing that like that's kind of nerve-wracking is when I'm trying to clean the floors. I'm trying to not like accidentally get too close to someone, because if I do, it counts as me hitting them somehow. At this rate, I'll have more than enough money to pay him off. The guy that I apparently owe money to. I gotta wait for one of these guys to leave so I can, like, drop one for food. I'm gonna wait for one to come in here. So once they do... Give me your brain. Thanks, buddy. Come down here. We're gonna go on the table. Closed up early. Do some light cleaning. Pick up the $6 you dropped. Have a left hand and a right hand here. And that fucking Labeeble wants to right. I have two right hands, so we should be good. I do need to clean out this container. Cut off your limbs. Okay, okay, we can work with this. Oh, hi, Magnus. What's up? Don't mind me. I'm just, you know, I'm making some food. You know, for my lovely, lovely paying customers. Not a body. Promise. I have hunting vision. I feel like I hunt already pretty well. I mean, it's not like they need a limit if you think about it. See, exactly. See? PJP, you understand. You understand where I'm coming from. See, all I'm doing is I'm making product. I'm taking care of my customer. Don't mind the hooks in here, this is normal. So, what we'll do... What happens if I take... Can I stack these on top of each other? Yes, I can. He wants to... right hand, so I should probably pick up the other right hand that's on the ground. There. I know I...
Oh, man.
Why? Why did the creeper thing jump scare me? Jesus fuck. You're stinky, Skulls. Why did that scare me? Someone explain. You're the left hand. I don't want to get rid of the left hand. Because the pretty lady wants two left hands. So instead of pick up these legs, I'm gonna cook them. Not cook them, I'm gonna cut them. I knew the customers were hooked on ordering from here for a reason. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, all of my tools are sanitized, and I make sure to package it. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. Also, fuck you, Skulls. You're stinky. Remember, I'm a writer. I can write you pregnant. And I'll make Jin the father. Do it? Okay, bad. You don't know what you've brought upon yourself. I'm gonna go message. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna message Shin right. Hold on. I'm gonna message Shin right now. Give me a second. I don't care anymore. Are you okay? Is this a cry for help? There's art of me with titties. Okay, but like that's fire art. They put effort into that. Shin, random question. If I say wrote Mpreg fanfiction of Skulls in You, where Skulls is pregante. What should be the thing that does it? Because I deadass was just gonna make it where y'all held hands or something. I don't know, I thought that'd be funny. For research purposes. Trust. I can't wait for when Shin comes online and just sees that from me. You're not getting rid of it. I'm gonna write it like an Omegaverse style, like, fan fiction, okay? You're written to be pregnant. No, don't worry, JP. You're not the one who's getting pregnant. It's Skulls. I need grandchildren. Bro, chill the fuck out. Why are you so angry? Misses, here you go. There you go, you fucking demon spawn. Boop. 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 More meat. There. And then I know I know I saved those limbs. I'll take you and you, because you two stay together. I'm gonna put you up here because you're part of that order. That way it's organized. I don't know. No, I'm not making JP pregnant. He doesn't want to be written pregnant. I would give the sub. That's not enough for me to make JP pregnant. How much? How about you ask JP yourself? Oh my god, you're back. You want bloody bottles? Come back tomorrow, I'll get that for you. Okay, I need to go get bottles. BRB at work. Okay, don't die. Yo, I need bottles. I need more packs. And I need like 10 bottles. I should be set. Why the fuck are you going in my store, buddy? Stay out of my store, fucking weirdo. Interact. There, I have 2 bottles of blood. I don't know what to do with them now. Okay, let me put you here. There. Then I need to put his body up there. You're not my mom. What the fuck do you mean? Skulls, we've established this. I'm gonna drop the bones here. Because I need to go get another storage shelf. I'm gonna go put this up. Put this down here. There. Now, pick up the bones. I'll drop the bottles in here. There we go. Now, I can go back to what I was doing. which was, you guessed it, chat, making meat. JP, I feel like you could pull off a kind of fire cosplay of the one Slurdo. I believe in you. No, I dropped my meat. Up there. Lyra keeps telling me to do it. I agree with Lyra. You should do it. You should cosplay as the One Slur. Of course you'd see eye to eye to her. I'm just saying, JP, I'm just, like, trust, okay? Hear me out. You could already voice act. You could, you could combine, your skills. Well, I need you to know I'm gonna put a lot of effort into this fanfiction. Like, it's gonna be a multi-chapter fanfiction. Are you prepared for that? The demo's fun. That was too fun. I can't wait for the full game. Honestly, doing this is very relaxing. I accidentally broke the tutorial a few times. I had to restart it a few times. But once I figured out how to unbreak it, it liked me. There we go. Now we have meat. How'd you break it? So what I was doing was, in the beginning, I was going ahead of the steps. And because I was going ahead of the steps, I didn't realize I had to buy the sucking machine in order to, actually use their body. So I was soft-locking myself on accident. Mentally soft-locking myself, if that makes sense. I wasn't actually, well, kind of, sort of? I don't know. Depends on who you ask. Hello, Toxic. How are you? I can't wait for another game I demoed and I want more content but still being made. Wait, what game did you demo? What game are you talking about? It might be your first time in 13 years. How does it feel? Someone at my job recently, shaved their beard and their head, and they had, long hair. And I didn't know they did that, and then I came, I came to work and I see him. I'm like, wait, is that who I fucking think it is? And I literally went, what the fuck? And he started laughing. Oh, I still need to play Restory. I have the demo downloaded. I need to play it. I've heard good things about it. Put that there. Now, this is clean. I'm probably going to take this other body and put it in there too. I did get talked into adding stuff for a budget one-star cosplay to my drone. See? See? And you're over here being like, oh, like... So what I'm hearing is I can buy the fit and make you be the one-slur. How much is it? That body is caked up. That's the kind of cake I want to have it. Alright? Probably less rectangle, but cake nonetheless. Oh yeah, I already ate his brains. Okay, let's throw him up here. How much is we can make one star pregnant? Why do you want to make JP pregnant so bad? Is it because you don't want to be the only one? You don't want to be the only one who's pregnant? You're trying to make someone else pregnant? For the funny. Uh-huh, sure. I don't believe that. I know who you are. I know what you are. Here, let me open my store. I need to buy more bags from him. I'm not starving. I'm fine. Don't start making weird noises in public, me. Food. Okay, so I need to take her money and then take her body down here. Put her up here. Problem solved. Alright, let me... No one will ever know. Perfect. That's another person I can eat. Or, well, I'm just gonna take them down for now. You join my Discord? Hell yeah. Welcome to the Discord. I need to do more funny things in the Discord. How about this? JP, you tell me how much it is. I will not tell Skulls, I promise you. I'll just see if Skulls can get close to it. I'll just smile in the background. Because I'll know it, but Skulls won't. It'll be my little secret. I'm buying a lot of pack human. Are you good? You sent me it? Okay, let me go look. Huh. Okay, understood. Egg Mother, please. Nah. Nah, you know me, I'm a petty bitch. You think I'm gonna give you it that easy, Skulls? That's crazy. I'm built different. Where do you think you got it from? I love having power. I love having little secrets, little forbidden knowledge. You can't see it, but I was tapping my fingers together like a little villain. Also, 3 stream streak is insane. I'm hopefully I can set up something soon where whenever y'all get stream streaks, it makes a little thing pop up on screen. I would like to do that. I think y'all deserve it. He wants to go hunting, but it's so much easier to just open close door. It is! No witnesses! It is literally the easiest thing! It's like, oh, you should go hunt. Nah, I like it here. What the fuck? Why did you show up? Why did he just show up outside my fucking store like that? Hello? Nick, please, you know how much I make. Yeah, and you keep fighting to get me, but you still haven't. Good evening, looks like you have to call a doctor. Why do you have so many, dude? What the fuck, bro? I'm fine. I'm doing great. I got you your money, like, a day early. Where's my money? There. Don't forget who have to pass. Let's get out of here before I stink to high heaven. Ike, peace out. Oh, continue play. Okay, I can keep playing. I could keep playing. I keep making money and murdering people for profit. It's funny when you forget. I'm waiting for it to happen when you forget. Oh, really? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Egg, yeah. Smiles. I'm gonna close my store early so I can clean. I haven't used my credit card. I got a high limit. I know. That's why I'm so, and I know you're not gonna do anything. I feel comfortable saying you ain't gonna do shit because I know you ain't gonna do shit. I'm safe. I'm calling your bluff. There you go. Put that meat there. And I got 2 bugs in here. I got this person here. We'll start chopping them. Which reminds me, I need to grab 2 of the bottles. I'm gonna put you in my inventory just so I have you. Can't believe it, chat. My own mother never feeds me, just like my real life, my IRL one. Ah, you're fine. You know how to hunt. I taught you how to hunt. You're fine. You're safe. Don't you think our son's okay, Gage?
He's fine.
See, you're fine. But I'm lazy. That's crazy. You know, back in my day...
You're not lazy. I can tell you that for a damn fact.
Back in my...
I'm lazy. You're not lazy.
Back in my day, we would wrestle coyotes for food. The Gage says I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Don't mind me sticking this suction tube up his ass. He already broke it with his thick ass, chat. How did you do that? It's always the ones that are double cheeked up that keep jamming my machine.
I gotta suck through all that ass, you know?
Alright, back to my responsibilities. Enjoy your responsibilities. I ate your brain already, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. So you're gonna go over here. Top you. Also, Egg, today might be the day I meet Krim. Are you excited? There you go. Meat acquired. Why am I constantly starving? I'm eating brains at least twice a day. No, because I want my kneecaps. That's crazy. Sounds like a skill issue.
You can just replace them, right?
You'll be fine.
I'm fine.
I know you. You'll be fine.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Save.
Hi, guess who has a new microphone?
You do?
I do. Fucking around with the audio settings. Because I'm not quite set on the volume and stuff.
I like how it sounds so far.
He's
Enjoy work, Skulls.
I'm modifying it because it's like I got it so that it would be compatible with the boom arm that I bought.
Hmm.
So my clacky is less audible when I'm recording and stuff.
How's it
Just
feel?
higher up, it is nice knowing that my mouth is now closer to my microphone than my keyboard is.
Yeah?
What is that? How you responded to that?
Don't worry about it.
Egg. Oh my god.
I'm normal.
You're as normal as Gengar.
Hell yeah.
So, how's the Sweeney Todding?
I'm a zombie.
Oh, okay. How's
Yeah.
the Sweeney zombing then? I don't know what you want me to do with that info.
Fun. This guy's back and he wants a heart. He's lucky I have a stock. Here you go, buddy. Ah! Why did you attack me? I was bringing you the heart! Brother.
You just got mugged.
Bruh. You fucking rude ass motherfucker. I don't even know where I am.
Oh, from the looks of it, you're in a graveyard.
Ease brain. Fuck it, I need to like recover somehow. Let's go.
You're lobotomy!
I'll just leave him there. No one will notice. They'll just think someone forgot to bury him. Why is a Lububu just outside my house?
Oh, that actually is just straight up a demonic Labubu.
Is he gonna jump me next? Like, why did they jump? I had the heart, and they jumped me. Rude ass.
Because you opened the door instead of the slot at the top of the door.
Probably. Oh well. I'm gonna save the game here for now. Because it's already gonna be 10 for me, and I technically already finished the demo, but this game is fun. I like this game.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably gonna be a game I play in the future, because it is kind of fun. So remember, chat, April's gonna end soon. That means this goofy ass model you see me use all April, it will be replaced with my normal model.
Nah.
So you'll know. I'm like debating making like funny meme days where like I do bust out like my other meme models, because I have a lot of them. I'm like debating it. But for now, since I do work tomorrow, I am gonna end here so I could try to get some sleep. Because my body's been really weird about sleeping. I don't know what's wrong with it. It doesn't want to fucking sleep, and it's angering me. Now, let's go raid someone. I love how in my suggested collabs it suggests myself. Knock to ask edgy gamer gal to collaborate. What?
That's just called co-fronting. I'm quick with it.
You're quick with it. Chat, I'm gonna send you to go say hi to... Looking for my list. Ooh, Aether streaming. I'm gonna send y'all to go say hi to Aether. Aether's cool. Trust. Aether is a metamorph to one of my other partners. Alright, chat. I'm gonna eat now. Goodbye forever. And by forever,
Cheers.
I mean, I don't know, like probably Thursday or Friday morning, I'll probably pop up.